2022 hasn't been the best year for video games. When we look back, there have been some big hits such as Horizon Forbidden West and the massive success of Elden Ring, and sleeper hits like Sifu, but in general it's been a very quiet year with not that many big releases. So what we're going to do today is look at the top 5 upcoming games that you should be looking forward to, because I definitely am. Before we get into it, I want to welcome you to the Part-Time Gamers YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this where we discuss our upcoming games that we're looking forward to, games we're not looking forward to, and just general video game news and discussions. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video and leave a comment letting us know which game you are most looking forward to coming out for the rest of the year. So without further ado, let's get into our top 5 games coming out for the rest of 2022. At number 5, we've got Scorn. Scorn is an upcoming first-person survival horror adventure game developed by Serbian developer Ebb Software. This game is coming exclusively to the Xbox Series X as of launch. No word yet if this will eventually come to other platforms. And the release date at the moment is 21st October 2022. Not too far away now. The reason you should be excited for this game is because it's got really good horror survival vibes. If you like mysterious, gory and interesting horror games, this is one for you. I guess if you don't like horror games, forget this one because it looks pretty scary. The settings look very ominous and very mysterious, and the enemies look disgusting, and looks like there's going to be a lot of gory elements in this one. I'm personally excited. I'm a big fan of horror games, particularly ones with a bit of mystery to them. Personally, I prefer them to have a bit more jump scare to them. Still not entirely sure if this one will have it, but I'm intrigued nonetheless. And this will be coming to Game Pass on the day of release, so you don't even have to spend a penny as long as you have Game Pass. So Scorn comes in at number 5. Let's move on to number 4. At number 4, we have A Plague Tale Requiem, and I'm going to apologise now in case I'm saying that word wrong. I say Requiem. If it's wrong, very sorry. Plague Tale Requiem is an upcoming third-person action-adventure game primarily focused around stealth, and this is developed by Asobo Studio, who obviously made the original game, A Plague Tale Innocence. If you haven't played the original game, I highly recommend it. It's one of my most underrated games, I would say, although it's well rated and well appreciated by those that have played it. This game has just purely not been played enough. Obviously it got enough to demand a sequel, but there's still a lot of people out there who don't know much about this game. I highly recommend you go and play it. It's a game where you've focused on kind of the story of a sister and a brother kind of living within the plague era. I don't want to spoil too much, but you use the environments to use stealth, and later on in the game you get some cool, should we say, powers, which really switches up the game. And basically, as you can tell, it's a plague. You've got to avoid the rats. That's kind of another element of the gameplay. A Plague Tale Requiem looks like it's going to take everything from the original and just make it better and bigger. The budget is clearly higher on this one. The graphics look fantastic. The story for the first one was great, even if the ending was a little odd and the boss fight was a little strange. But I believe that they are going to really up the ante on this one and just improve this game in every single way. So I am super excited for this one. So let's move on to number 3. At number 3, we have the Callisto Protocol. Callisto Protocol is an upcoming survival horror game. As you can tell, I like survival horror games. This time developed by Striking Distance Studios and published by Krafton. It's scheduled for release December 2nd, so a bit later on in the year, just before the turn of the year. So hopefully this will still not get delayed and actually release this year. But the big thing with this one is that the director, Glenn Schofield, previously co-created the fantastic Dead Space series. Now, Dead Space is one of, if not the best horror series ever made. And when you watch the gameplay and the trailers for this game, you can just clearly see the inspiration they've taken from Dead Space. If you didn't know this was Callisto Protocol, you would probably think, oh look, here's Dead Space 4, or this is the Dead Space remake. Obviously, we have a Dead Space remake coming in January. This one's coming out just before, on the 2nd of December. Not much else to say here other than this game looks like Dead Space on steroids. It looks fantastic. The fact that Glenn Schofield is directing it gives me so much hope for the game. And yeah, I just cannot wait to get my hands on this game, turn the lights off and play it in the dark. It's going to be a fantastic time. And if you haven't watched any gameplay for this yet, you'll probably be seeing it now. If it hasn't interested you, then you're probably just scared of horror games, and that's fine. At number 2, we have Hogwarts Legacy. Now, this is an upcoming action role-playing video game, obviously set in the Harry Potter universe, being Hogwarts Legacy. It's developed by Avalanche Software and published by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment under its Portkey Games label. And this is coming to all platforms, apparently even Nintendo Switch. I imagine that one will be delayed. But talking of delays, I'm still not fully sure this one will come out this year, but it's still slated for holiday 2022. Hopefully we get a more concrete release date very, very soon, because this is one of the ones I'm probably the most unsure it's definitely coming, but we hold our fingers crossed. Hogwarts Legacy, not much else to say here other than pretty much anyone who is a fan of Harry Potter has always wanted to live and breathe in that world, and this is as close as we're going to get. This game looks like they're going to really let you explore Hogwarts, become a student, and learn magic, and go your own route. You're not like a set in stone game. You kind of take your own path. It's an RPG. You upgrade what you want to upgrade. You do the things you want to do and become the wizard you want to be, or witch. And honestly, if they can hit it as well as we all hope they can, this game could be humongous. I mean, it will sell a humongous number of games anyway. But if they can be really successful with this and make it as good as they possibly can, then we are in for what is potentially going to be the biggest game of the year, to rival the likes of Elden Ring and the next game on this list. Okay, so number 1 is obvious if you know me, and probably obvious even if you don't. It's the most hyped game of the year, and it is slated to be releasing November 9th, 2022, and that is God of War Ragnarok. So God of War Ragnarok, for those of you that don't know, is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Santa Monica Studio and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. PlayStation exclusive, this one. And my hype levels could not be any higher. God of War, the 2018 video game, is my favourite video game of all time. And I would argue nothing really comes close. The Last of Us series is pretty close, but God of War just is on a different level for me. The story in the last game, the gameplay in the last game, the visuals, the audio, the characters, everything about that game is nearly perfect for me. There's very few things that I can pick out. I've played it 3 times now all the way through and loved every single second of it every single time. This next game has a lot to live up to, obviously, being on a pedestal like that for me and for many others. So there's a big chance this game comes out and disappoints quite a few of us, but I'm still very hopeful that it won't happen and that it will come out and blow our minds yet again and be an incredible story which is going to apparently end the Norse mythology series for God of War, which means they could then go into Egypt or Japan or something like that. They go into their kind of mythical lore. But for this game, my hopes are high. I'm hoping we get, well, I'm pretty sure we're going to get to fight Thor, probably Odin. Will we get to play as Atreus? Will Kratos die? Will Atreus die? So many unanswered questions. The story is surely going to be fantastic. It's just got to be. I can't wait to meet the new characters. I can't wait to see old characters again. And in all honesty, I just think this game will be the best game I've ever played to overtake the predecessor of God of War 2018. Not much else to say other than this game is just a couple of months away, but I cannot wait, and you shouldn't be able to wait either. So there you have it. That is the top 5 games that you should be excited for, because we are. Let us know down in the comments what you're most excited for. Is it any of these 5 games? Is it something else? Honorable mentions go out to Gotham Knights, and that's pretty much it. I think I've pretty much nailed it. The games I'm looking forward to, and I think you should be. But I can understand why people would be excited for Gotham Knights as well. Obviously, we're looking far into the future. 2023 has some big hitters such as Starfield and the Dead Space remake, and Forspoken. But for 2022, these are the top 5 games that you should be looking forward to. Let us know in the comments what you're looking forward to. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching the Part Time Gamers YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time.